What's cracking, everybody? So today's video was not inspired by, but almost requested by JD from Prison Break Raw. Those of you that haven't checked this channel out, go ahead and check him out, Prison Break Raw. Yeah, it was during the live. I don't know if he's been asked the question a bunch of times or what, but, and I don't know if it was a female subscriber of him that asked about relationships for us getting out, right? And JD, for whatever reason, felt like I would be a person that could speak on it. And I understand what he's saying, because it's harder for people, well, I can't say that. In my opinion, it's harder for people that have done decades, went away when they were teenagers, did decades in prison, and then get out and get involved in a relationship, right? I do want to say that when I first got out, see, for us lifers, I don't know if it's for everybody, but for us lifers, when we parole, it's mandatory that we have to attend lifer meetings at the parole office every 30 days, right? And I remember when I first got out and I went to my first lifer meeting, and it blew my mind, because there was minimum of 50 dudes in that meeting, right? And it was like, damn, we're really out here like this, you know what I mean? And that was just one meeting. You got to remember, those meetings are happening all over the state, man. Now, those meetings were kind of like, but what was cool was seeing who was out, seeing how many people were out, interacting with dudes when they get out, connecting, network, because we're our own community, you know. We are the new minority out here, and so a lot of us, we network, and you know, like if somebody paroles to I can't say anywhere in the state, but most parts of the state, I can probably call somebody and, hey man, I know somebody paroling over there, you know. And that was cool. And a lot of times we would go to the meeting, and afterwards, you know, a bunch of us, we would go grab something to eat. And I remember we used to trip out like, damn, man. I remember driving, and there was 5 of us in a car, right? And no, 4, hold up. There was 4 of us, because I'm thinking, can you drive with 5 people in a car? Unless you got an SUV. I didn't. But I remember thinking, fuck, the Hudas pull us over. We're all legit. We're on parole. You know, a parole officer said it's cool. You know, they let lifers mingle with each other. But it was like, they pull us over and ask for IDs, they're gonna fucking call the SWAT on us. But anyways, the main thing, the main topic that everybody had, the main stressor, the thing causing the lifers the most stress and headache, was the relationships with the old ladies, right? And I do have to say that because I work evenings, I don't have to do these meetings anymore, these lifer meetings, and it kind of sucks, because I'm out of the loop as far as interacting with a lot of people, but I gotta feed my family, right? So anyways, for the majority of us lifers, when we went in, we were teenagers, 17, 18, 19 years old, some early 20s. And when you're, you know, anybody in their, you know, 40s, even 30s and up, you know, when you look back, all you got, no disrespect to all you 20, 22, 23-year-olds watching right now, but you guys are kids still. And as you get older, you'll look back and be like, I didn't know shit when I was that age. And it's the truth. You know, you're still trying to figure out who you are a lot of times, unless you're in prison, and you got to learn fast, right? But out here, you're still trying to figure out a lot of shit, you know? And so imagine being in that age range, you know, like I said, maybe 16 to 23, and you get sent to prison, and you do decades, right? And I can only speak for myself. I know when I was, before I went to prison, cut that life sentence, I was a very self-centered asshole, you know, and every time I got out of jail knowing I was going back. So I did whatever the fuck I wanted, whenever I wanted. I was not loyal to whoever I was with, you know. And I had a talk with my wife recently, and I told her, because there's something that, you know, popped into my head. I said, you know, and it wasn't to be disrespectful to my wife, and she knew that, and I'll share that with you guys, is I told my wife, you know, my ex-wife, my daughter's mom, when I was with her, I loved her with everything I had in me at that time. Unfortunately, that wasn't a lot. You know, I wasn't a healthy person back then. You know, and the love that I have for my wife now is a completely different and way more deep kind of love, because I'm at peace with myself and I have happiness within me. And so the love I'm able to give is full, you know what I mean? It's pure. Now, with all that said, when I got out, I had met my wife when I was in prison. Was not looking for any type of relationship, wasn't looking for no pen pals, none of that, you know. I was just focused on me, you know what I mean, and my surroundings. And a camarada of mine was like, hey homie, I know this woman that I know you guys will hit it off, you know, you guys' personalities, this and that, whatever. Well, he was right. And, you know, my wife, in the first letter, I let her know, look, man, I got life, but I will get out one day, because that's the mentality you have to have, right? And sure enough, man, I think it was about 7.5 years. She ran with me, and then I got out, right? We got married while I was in there, and so I get out, and, you know, I'm used to talking to men. I'm used to dealing with men, you know, in my everyday life, in my everyday interaction for so many decades of my life, right? And I get out, and obviously I'm a little rough around the edges, you know. And I can tell you that it was hard, man. It was very hard, because in prison, those of you that have been in prison know, especially if you've been on a higher level prison, there's a give and take. You know, when you're living in very close quarters with your cellie, another man, another violent individual, you learn that there's gonna be things, there are things about everyone that when you get put in a small place, those things get magnified and they can become annoying. And you have to figure out, is that worth saying something because the outcome can be so ugly? Or is it worth looking at yourself and saying, you know what, I probably got some shit that fucking annoys him too, and keeping your mouth shut? You know what I mean? And so you learn that. While out here, when you're in a relationship with a woman, they don't like something, they're gonna tell you, and tell you, and tell you. And for us, we're not used to people telling us what to do. We're not used to the nagging. And so when I got out, obviously I didn't know how to drive well. I'd been in prison forever, and I got out, and it was like everything. What my wife would tell me, and she wasn't trying to be fucked up, but she would tell me, babe, do that. Well, my mind was, why the fuck is she always telling me something? And she didn't understand that was going on in my mind, because she didn't understand I wasn't used to somebody questioning me like that. And even though she was trying to be helpful, to my mind, it didn't process it like that. And so there was that. And I want to say something to all of you women watching this who have an old man behind bars. He will come home if he applies himself to all the positive programming, the way the CDC has set itself up now. The more AA, NA, AVP, whatever groups you can get into, you can get a reduction in time. It's a big old thing, but anyways, keep that in your mind. But one thing I'm asking, matter of fact, I ain't even asking, I'm telling all of you women that watch this, that have an old man behind bars, do not watch these prison wife shows, and do not get on these prison wife websites, because all they do is plant fucking seeds in your head, man, that are not gonna be cool. And all they'll do is fuck with your relationship, because any woman on those channels, any woman on those sites is talking about their interaction with their dude. That is not your interaction with your dude. Don't base your your relationship and your interaction with your old man off of somebody else's shit. Okay? Now, when I got out, and when all of us get out, and this is a theme that we all can agree on, all of us lifers, when we talk, is our old ladies have a lot of insecurities about them that we're not used to. And when you're dealing with men in prison, and you're dealing with a lot of alpha males, right? And then you get out here and you see the insecurities. But the worst thing is the constant, where you going? Why you putting that on? Who you gonna go see? You know what I mean? And then again, it was one of those things, I know for all of us, man, it's like, fuck, like I can't do nothing. And I could tell you, for me personally, the first year that I was out, it was rough. My wife and I would bump heads on a lot of things. But I knew that there wasn't and there isn't another woman who could love me like my wife loves me. There wasn't and there isn't another woman that could go through the fire like my wife did. You know what I mean? Like, I've had discussions with other lifers that, when they were struggling with their relationship, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. And I would tell them, like, listen, your old lady went through a test that, yeah, you could hook up with any of these, these women out here, but you don't know anything about them that you know about your wife, as far as the loyalty, the sacrifice. It's easy for a woman to be in your life out here, but those women who suffer with us, who do time with us, we can't turn our backs on them. And so for me, it was never a question like, I gotta get out of this relationship. Never. It was, I gotta make this work. And in making it work, that's a two-way street. I know this video is not gonna be for a lot of people, but those that need it, hopefully this is gonna help you out a little bit. and understanding it's not gonna be easy. When any lifer gets out, the majority of us, I think every one of us, has PTSD. Every one of us is functioning. The only ones that if any lifer gets out and wants to get on SSI, no disrespect, but that tells you a lot about how he was doing his time. He was a slug in prison. Because if he don't hit the ground running, he was not a go-getter in there. But anyways, hopefully, he needs love too. Them slugs need love. But I just wanted to put out this video and like I said, please do not watch Prison Wives shows. Do not go on those sites. Build your relationship with your old man while he's in there. Be realistic and always keeping in mind that these dudes, these lifers, go away as kids and they grow as into men around the most violent men. And every relationship they had prior to prison was a dysfunctional relationship. And so when those men get out, dudes like me, we get out extremely grateful, naive in a lot of ways, because I don't want to say naive, ignorant in a lot of ways, because we don't know the world, and we need our women to be right there side by side, and we need our women to understand that they need to be patient with us, and we need to be patient with them. I do want to say, and hopefully this reassures some people, that out of every lifer that I know that's gotten out, I don't think, I can't remember not one of them who isn't still with this old lady. Take that back. One. It wasn't his wife. And that relationship, man, this dude is a good friend of mine. That relationship was more give on his part than a 50-50. And when he got out, he felt it got even worse. And so there was no working together on that. And that's the only, so one out of I don't know how many, so I'll go ahead and end this long ass video that probably won't be seen by many people, but hopefully whoever does see it, the ones that see it are the ones that are supposed to see it, man. With that, I'm out.